I was carrying mugs of tea into the living room when I saw it, the way Lucy and Daniel's hands touched under the blanket. It was quick, almost hidden, but my eyes caught it. My heart started racing, and I wanted to believe it was just a fluke. But the way they pulled their hands apart too fast told me it was something. My sister. My best friend. Together. I sat down pretending nothing happened. Mum was busy fixing decorations, Dad was reading the paper, and nobody else seemed to notice. But my eyes kept going back to them. Lucy looked calm, like nothing had happened. Daniel avoided my gaze, his smile forced. I kept asking myself, was I imagining it? But the silence between them was too loud for me to ignore. After dinner, I found Lucy in the kitchen washing dishes. I asked, "Are you and Daniel hiding something?" She froze for half a second before laughing. "Don't be silly," she said, but her voice was tight. That laugh didn't sound like her. I wanted to push harder, but Mum walked in asking for the pudding. I let it go, for the moment. But my stomach was in knots. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying the look on Lucy's face when I asked her. It wasn't guiltless, it was defensive. I grabbed my phone, opened old chats with Daniel, and scrolled back. He used to tell me everything. But recently, his replies were short, cold. Like he was hiding from me. That silence between us started to make sense. The next morning, Daniel came over early to help Dad fix the shed door. I watched them through the window, but my eyes only followed Daniel. I remembered when we were kids, chasing each other in this same garden. Back then he felt like a brother. Now he felt like a stranger wearing his face. A stranger who might be touching my sister in secret. At lunch, Aunt Carol arrived, loud as always. She never missed a chance to notice things. She leaned in close to me and whispered, "Doesn't Daniel look at Lucy too much?" My blood ran cold. If Carol saw it too, then it wasn't just in my head. I nodded weakly, pretending I didn't care, but inside I felt my whole world shifting. That evening, I cornered Daniel outside while he smoked in the cold. "Are you and Lucy together?" I asked. He looked shocked, then angry. "Why would you even ask that?" he said. But his eyes didn't match his words. He couldn't look at me straight. My best friend was lying to me, and I felt the ground under me starting to crack. The worst part wasn't his words, it was the silence after them. He didn't deny it fully. He just walked away, leaving me shaking in the cold. When I went back inside, Lucy and Daniel were sitting close again, whispering. My chest tightened. I knew something was real between them, and the truth would explode sooner or later. I just didn't know how ugly it would be. Christmas Eve came fast, and the house was full of noise, but I felt alone. I kept staring at Lucy and Daniel, waiting for another slip. Then it happened. Tom, my cousin, joked, "Why do you two act like a couple?" The room went quiet. Lucy laughed too loud, Daniel looked down at his plate, and Mum quickly changed the subject. But the air didn't recover. That night, I found Lucy in her room texting, the glow of her phone lighting her face. I asked, "Are you texting Daniel?" She snapped her head up too fast. "No. Stop being weird." She shoved her phone under the blanket. I wanted to grab it, scream, make her confess. But all I did was whisper, "You're going to ruin everything." She didn't answer. On Christmas morning, presents were passed around. Laughter filled the room, but my eyes caught something sharp. Daniel handed Lucy a small box wrapped in gold paper. She blushed when she opened it. A necklace. "It's beautiful," she whispered. Everyone clapped, thinking it was just a friendly gift. But I knew better. That necklace wasn't for friendship. It was a secret love tied in silver. Later, I found Daniel alone in the hallway. "You can't keep doing this," I said, my voice shaking. He leaned close and whispered, "You don't understand. It's real." My stomach dropped. Real. That word haunted me. It wasn't a fling, it wasn't a mistake, it was something they chose. And suddenly, the holiday felt like a time bomb waiting to blow. By afternoon, the house felt tense, like everyone sensed something off. Aunt Carol kept staring at Lucy's necklace, her mouth twitching like she wanted to say something. Finally, she blurted, "Daniel, that's too nice a gift for a friend." The room froze. Lucy coughed, Daniel forced a laugh, and Dad frowned. I held my breath, knowing this was only the beginning. That night, I caught Lucy sneaking into the back garden. I followed and found Daniel already waiting there. They thought everyone was asleep. Their breath fogged in the cold air as he touched her face, tenderly, like a lover. My chest tightened. Seeing it up close hurt more than I imagined. This wasn't an accident, it was real, and they weren't even ashamed. The next morning, Tom cornered me in the hallway. "I saw them last night," he whispered. My face burned. He wasn't joking anymore. He looked serious, almost scared. "Are you going to tell your parents?" he asked. I shook my head. If I did, Christmas would explode. But the secret was already spreading, and I couldn't stop it. By evening, Dad's patience cracked. He asked straight out at the dinner table, "Lucy, what's going on between you and Daniel?" The silence was painful. Lucy opened her mouth but no words came. Daniel tried to speak, but Dad slammed his hand on the table. Plates rattled. Mum gasped. My heart pounded because I knew this was the moment everything would come crashing down. Lucy finally spoke, her voice trembling. "We didn't plan it. It just happened." Mum covered her mouth in shock, Dad's face turned red, and the room spun in silence. Daniel tried to add, "I love her," but the words only made it worse. The table erupted, voices shouting, chairs scraping, everyone talking over each other. And I sat frozen, because my worst fear had just been spoken out loud. The family split into sides fast. Aunt Carol shouted about shame. Tom backed away wide-eyed, and Mum begged everyone to calm down. Lucy cried. Daniel held her hand in front of everyone now, no longer hiding. Dad yelled for Daniel to leave the house. Daniel refused. For the first time, my childhood friend wasn't welcome here, and I didn't know whose side I was on that night. The house was quiet but not peaceful. Doors slammed, voices whispered behind walls. I sat alone in the hallway, listening to the cracks spreading through my family. My sister's secret love had broken the holiday apart. When Daniel finally left, the sound of the door closing felt final, like a chapter ending. But I knew the damage would last far longer. The next morning, Lucy came to me, her eyes swollen. "I didn't mean to hurt you," she whispered. I wanted to forgive her, but the words wouldn't come. She chose Daniel over us, and nothing would ever be the same. As the holiday ended, I realized this wasn't just about love, it was about betrayal, family, and how one secret can destroy everything we thought was safe.